Hey guys, welcome back to another video here. How's everyone doing here? Good. So today's video, we're going to be doing something really a bit different here in the channel here. So in today's video, I'm going to be creating like basically also a new series into the history channel here, and I'm going to be covering on today all about the histories of like the greatest artists and like the greatest architects here. In which in today's video, we're going to be going into a video reacting to of art architecture but of Andy Warhol here, the another greatest one of in fact one of my favorite artists here in history here. And so, yeah, we're going to be reacting to this video of the School of Life. It was made by this channel, the School of Life, or as like the main or Alan de Bottom here, the guy who creates like one of these people who creates these videos here. So yeah, we're going to be reacting to one of his videos here, and this one's about Andy Warhol, and it says in the description, Andy Warhol is one of the great artists of the 20th century who understood legitimate role of glamour and business should play in the production of art. He had much to teach to the modern world. Okay, so yeah, but before we get into this video, if you guys haven't yet, please be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to my channel if you're new, don't forget to comment and turn on the bell notifications. That way you get notified by every video that I'll be posting in the channel. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's get going. All right, here we go. Art architecture. Andy Warhol.
Andy Warhol was the most glamorous figure of 20th century American art. Born in Pennsylvania in 1928 to Czech parents, he lived most of his life in New York. Much about his life was eccentric. He wore a silver wig. He liked to go to the dry cleaners and stand in the corner, enjoying the smells and sounds of the chemicals and cleaning machines. He loved airports and used to go through airport security multiple times just because he said he found it fascinating and kind of inspiring. Andy Warhol's great achievement was to develop a generous and helpful view of two major forces in modern society: commerce and celebrity. He spent most of his life as an international celebrity, but he was also very keen on business. There are four big ideas behind Andy Warhol's work, which can teach us a more inspired way of looking at the world and prompt us to build a better society.
Right, okay, so, like, alright, so, yeah, if you guys didn't know, also, I think also Andy Warhol, he would, like, after, like, basically his birth here, I've also read, like, a book from somewhere that he also, like, basically later on attended into to the Carnegie, University here, where this is the part, like, basically, like, he took kind of, like, in an art class, and, like, and that's where, like, kind of started with, like, basically his like own art career here, that people around him just looked at him and like basically looked at that surprised and like looked interested about his pieces of art he made on. But then later on in his life, into also in New York here, he also then got to meeting up with Roy Lichtenstein here, who is if you guys don't know who he is, he's the guy who is most famous for like more graphic novel or comic book or more type of art here. And yeah, and Andy Warhol didn't want to copy anybody else's, and he wanted to make his own artwork here that he can make money out. And he would then later make his first art piece, which is the Campbell soup cans here, which this video is going to be presenting here, and that put him on the wall, and to let people know like which of the different types of soups that that they have here. And yeah, so we're gonna but anyways, yeah, that's a little of another interesting fact that I thought I can just share to you guys about. Here we go.
We spend too much of our life wanting something better and extraordinary. It's normal to feel that the exciting things are not where we are. Andy Warhol aims to remedy this by getting us to look again at things in everyday life. He performed his magic most famously on soup
Campbell
cans.
soup cans.
Putting them on the wall and looking at them helps us to see their beauty, to notice their appealing labels, their strong but elegant forms, perfectly fitted to their uses. In the same spirit of redirecting our attention, Andy Warhol made a video of himself eating a hamburger.
Here he is. He's eating a burger. It looks like it's from Burger King.
During the 1960s, Warhol groomed a retinue of bohemian and countercultural eccentrics, to whom he gave the title superstars, including Nice, Joe D'Alessandro, Edie Sedgwick, Viva, Ultraviolet, Holly Woodlawn, Jackie Curtis, and Candy Darling.
Right.
Warhol understood that celebrities have an important power. They can distribute glamour and prestige. He thought that glamour needed to be redistributed in such a way that society could work better. For example, he suggested that the President of the United States could use his status to shift perceptions. As he wrote, if the President would go into a public bathroom in the Capitol and have the TV cameras film him, cleaning the toilets and saying, "Why not? Someone's got to do it," then that would do so much for the morale of people who do the wonderful job of keeping the toilets clean.
Right, that's very important.
He didn't call his place in New York a studio, the prestigious term used by artists since the Renaissance to describe their place of work. Instead, he called it the factory. We tend to feel that the idea of art and the idea of a factory don't really mix, but Warhol's point was that business and art actually do very much belong together. As he wrote, being good in business is the most fascinating kind of art. During the hippie era, people put down the idea of business. They'd say money is bad and working is bad. But making money is art, and working is art, and good business is the best art.
Right.
The lesson of the factory is that we can organize ourselves to produce good things more reliably and cheaply.
Right.
One example of this for Warhol was Coke.
Coke,
He pointed out
right.
that wherever in the world you
Coca-Cola.
go, Coke is always the same and is always quite nice.
Production of
Art
Coke.
has generally not been able to live up to this ideal of being good and widely distributed. Artists make a few things, but only a few people ever get to own them. Warhol tried to counteract this. One day, after reading that Picasso had made 4,000
Picasso.
masterpieces in his lifetime, Warhol set out to make 4,000 prints in one day. As it turned out, it took him 1 month to make 500. The lesson we can draw from Warhol is that mass production needs to apply beyond making prints and other kinds of high art. We need the organizing, commoditizing, and branding powers of business to reliably produce and distribute the good things in life, like high-quality childcare, psychotherapy, career advice, and beautiful architecture, just to
Right.
start the list. Most art doesn't have much of an impact on the world, but Warhol was extremely keen on large-scale impact. He mastered
Architecture.
many genres, from drawing, painting, and printing,
right.
to photography, audio recording, sculpture, and theatre. He started a
Right.
magazine, designed clothes, managed a
Right.
band, made 60 films, and had plans to start his own TV chat show. Warhol was able to extend his work into different channels, partly because of his populism.
Right. So also going back to like the part where he mentioned in the video about, that Andy Warhol had basically created like his own like basically childcare therapy and like, as well as also others like paintings and drawings as well as creating the magazines and like, photography here and before and what also doesn't mention is that I think I've read through a book somewhere like a Who HQ book about him and it said kind of like basically he kind of retired on working on the art here but then he then like moved into and then created like the was with Nico and the Velvet Underground here which was basically the album that he created an art background for the band and which was created back in the band was created back in 1967 here and that's where they began making their own songs through and then through like 1969 to like 1979 here the Underground Velvet was then basically published like a whole album full of many songs there and that's why people went into to a concert and that's where they also met with the Underground Velvet and also like Andy Warhol like what they mentioned also with like his populism like basically with like they he also retired and then make created like his own TV chat show and like his own as well as also that they also created like just sculpture and like creating the magazines and that but before he kind of like basically got back the more art there. And also, like, what the video does not even mention also is that Andy Warhol, he also met up with another artist named Jean-Michel Basquiat here. He's also like basically he's another artist who is like basically that he was like basically the other artist who does like more graffiti art here and that he's most famous for, and he and Andy Warhol had met together at like the at a party which is a project of arts, which is the studio 54, I believe it was here, where he met up with some pretty cool friends of his here, and way before he continued his art career, and way after. And what also what the video doesn't mention also, like kind of like what it mentions is now that like with the production and goods of the like modern world, and like that was more about that Andy Warhol, the most of part of the video is that he was the movement of the pop of like pop art here, that after when he created like the Campbell soup cans, and as well as that he basically done like his own way more like rainbow like bright colors of like basically of Marilyn Monroe, Mao Zedong. And I've actually been to like, I've been to San Francisco where I went into a Japanese arts manga and history museum, and they had one art here that was about Jackie, that was created by Andy Warhol, and it was about Jackie Kennedy, who was the first lady of JFK here back in 1963. So yeah. Anyways, let's continue the video.
Being a populist meant that he was unafraid to reach people where they started. The chat show is a quintessential populist medium because it plays to what masses of people find funny and interesting. Warhol was a populist out of generosity. He wanted to translate the things he cared about, like sensitivity, a love of glamour and spectacle and playfulness, into objects and experiences that could touch many, many people. The only pity is that he never quite finished what he did. He could have founded his planned TV chat show, then gone on, in ever broader and broader partnerships, to start a fashion label, design a hotel, maybe a financial advisory service, a supermarket chain, or an airport. This is the task still open to people who are drawn to art, but also want to change the world. Andy Warhol died in 1987 when he was only 58, after complications following routine gallbladder surgery in a New York hospital. He is buried at a small cemetery near where he was born in Bethel Park, Pennsylvania. His example is still an invitation to us to change the world in a mass, populist way through art.
My name is Andy Warhol, and I just finished eating a hamburger.
All right, that was it there. Okay, let's wait, no, pause the video. All right, so that was it there. This was basically all right, so that was it there. This was me basically reacting to my video about the School of Life about Andy Warhol here. I hope you guys basically enjoyed the video here, and if you guys want to check this video out by yourselves, you sure as can. And yeah, so I hope you enjoyed the video. If you guys did, be sure to don't forget to like, subscribe, and don't forget to leave a comment what you also thought of the video here, and also facts about Andy Warhol. And yeah, so don't forget to also turn on my bell notifications for more history content like this. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. So Mr. Aaron's out. Peace.